It's the kind of story that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. How does a person simply just vanish in broad daylight, never to be seen or heard from again? 25-year-old Dorothy Arnold was the heiress of perfume importer Francis Arnold. As the daughter of a rich entrepreneur, Dorothy got a great education and graduated from the prestigious Bryn Mawr College for Women, where she majored in literature. She spoke several languages and dreamed of becoming a writer. She was smart, rich, beautiful, and popular in New York high society. Life was going great for the young woman until the day she mysteriously disappeared on December 12, 1910. 10:45 a.m. Dorothy leaves her room and goes downstairs. She meets her mom in the main hall and tells her she's going shopping to buy a new dress for her 19-year-old sister Marjorie's debut party. The ball is scheduled for December 17th, 5 days after the incident. Dorothy's mom suggests going with her, but she refuses, and there is good reason for that. Her mom is seriously ill and hardly ever leaves the house. Her mother doesn't notice anything strange about her daughter's behavior that morning. 11 a.m. Dorothy leaves the family's home in the posh Upper East Side of Manhattan. She takes $25 with her, or about $700 by today's rate. The sum didn't seem too out of the ordinary since she was shopping for a ball gown. She heads west for Fifth Avenue and then down toward Midtown Manhattan. It's a 90-minute walk, but it probably took Dorothy longer since the roads were icy and slippery. She meets several acquaintances, and all say that she was in a pretty good mood. She even stopped at a candy store on the corner of Fifth Avenue on 27th Street for a box of chocolates. The clerk at the shop also told the detective that nothing seemed strange about her behavior. 1 p.m. On 27th Street, Dorothy goes to Britanno's bookstore, where she buys a collection of funny stories and essays. Upon leaving the store, Dorothy bumps into her friend Gladys Kane, and she has also been invited to Marjorie's party, so they discuss this event and chat for a while. Later, Gladys excuses herself because she is supposed to meet her mom for lunch. 2 p.m. Dorothy decides to go home, and she takes a shortcut through Central Park. Well, at least that's what she told her friend. And that was the last time anyone saw Dorothy Arnold again. In the evening of December 12th, Dorothy still hadn't arrived home, but there wasn't any immediate cause for alarm. Dorothy was a grown woman. She was out taking care of her own errands, and when she didn't come home that night, her parents thought she stayed at her boyfriend's place. They sounded the alarm only when she didn't come home the next evening. But they didn't go to the police. Well, not yet anyway. Her father didn't want to create a stir. He was afraid of damaging his business reputation just because of a possible scandal. The Thing is, at that time, it wasn't quite common for a young single woman to date men and not get married. If the press wrote something about this, Mr. Arnold's good name would be ruined. He also suspected that someone could have abducted his daughter to demand a ransom from them. He didn't want to make things more complicated by giving publicity to the story. Plus, what if that gave other bad guys the idea of kidnapping his other daughter? Instead, they turned to a friend of the daughter's older brother. John S. Keith was a lawyer. He knew the missing girl well, and he had connections, so he got down to business immediately. Keith interviewed Dorothy's friends, acquaintances, and shop assistants that work in the woman's favorite stores. Little by little, he started putting together a detailed account of her last day. But there was still no information about what happened to her after she parted ways with her friend. Keith went to all the hospitals in New York. He even sent requests to nearby cities, but nothing turned up. He looked in the young woman's room and only found one strange thing. There were burned sheets of paper in the fireplace. He couldn't quite make out the text, but it looked like ships carrying passengers from US to Europe. Also, I've never heard of a fireplace in someone's room before. So let me know if you have a fireplace in your room, because I don't. I've never heard of a fireplace in a room before. It looked like this investigation needed more manpower, so Keith recommended that they go to a famous detective agency called Pinkerton. Detectives checked passenger lists of all ships that were going to Europe. Their contacts across the Atlantic kept an eye out for a woman arriving by ship and matching Dorothy's description again. Nothing was found. But her boyfriend George Griscom Jr. was in Europe at the time. Dorothy had met the 42-year-old Philadelphia native while she was in college. Dorothy's parents had always been against her relationship with Griscom, so maybe the two went to Europe to secretly elope. The Arnolds sent a telegraph message to him asking them what he knew about their daughter's whereabouts. He answered that he knew nothing. This reply did not satisfy them. So, on January 16, 1911, Dorothy's mother and brother came to the hotel in Florence where Griscom was staying to talk to him face to face. The girl had been missing for over a month by then, and her brother lost his nerve and threatened Griscom if he didn't tell the truth. He kept saying he didn't know where she was or what happened to her. He also seemed concerned about her well-being. In his opinion, she might have decided to end her life. In proof of this, he showed them a letter that she had written to him. In it described how distressed she felt because she kept getting refusals from magazines that refused to publish her writing. And they read through it, and the letter did sound grim. The letter said, "Failure stares me in the face. All I can see ahead is a long road with no turning. Mother will always think an accident has happened." But that version seemed too far-fetched. The girl was ambitious and was looking for popularity. She'd hardly be so discouraged by her unsuccessful literary attempts to harm herself. Dorothy's brother looked through the letters that Griscom had kept and decided that they did not contain any useful information that would help in this investigation. 6 weeks after his daughter's disappearance, Francis Arnold gave in. He invited journalists over for a press conference and said that Dorothy had been attacked on her way home through Central Park. Even though it seems unlikely that a popular and recognizable woman could be attacked in broad daylight without anyone seeing or hearing anything. In any case, the police then joined the search. They did a thorough investigation and they checked every square inch of Central Park and found no traces of Dorothy. They also verified George Griscom's alibi. A lot of eyewitnesses could confirm that on December 12, 1910, he wasn't even in the US, so not a single shred of evidence that Griscom was involved with her disappearance was ever found. Besides, he himself spent several $1,000s on ads in the newspapers begging Dorothy to come back. He told the press that he was going to marry her even if her parents were against it. There is also the theory that she could have just ran away. It was known that she had been feeling particularly down about the magazine refusals. In fact, it is believed that the burned papers in the fireplace were letters of refusals. Had the money she had taken for a ball gown really been for a secret escape? The day before her disappearance, she also had taken $36, that is $925 by today's rate. With the dress money, she'd have $1,500 to start a new life. But that's highly doubtful as well. Why would a rich social life decide to abandon her friends, family, and home just because she was having a hard time kickstarting her writing career? Besides, even if she was planning on escaping, she didn't have any bags big enough to fit clothes inside, and even if she could fit some in her purse, there was nothing missing from her room, and everybody said that she was in a happy mood that day. Dorothy's father finally concluded that she died of some accident, although no body was ever found. Unfortunately, despite what would have been over $2 million looking for her, Dorothy was never found. The mystery is still unsolved more than 100 years later. So, what do you think happened to her? Personally, I think she was kidnapped, but hey, that's just my guess. What's yours? Hey, my name is Zoe. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and please remember to like and subscribe. And don't forget to go check out my friend Thomas's channel. His YouTube channel's name is Tom Q, so don't forget to check it out. And also, please let me know what videos you guys would like me to do next. Bye!